So just a little video today on these DANNER bull run. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I'm doing a little bit of a showcase of DANNER boots, and I'm going to let you guys decide who or which boots actually go into long-term review. I've also going to be looking at the light and the mountain light there. We'll do some follow-up videos on those. So what I'd like you to do is, if this is the boot you want to see a long-term review on, give it a like, and at the end of this series I'll pick the boot which is the most popular and do a long-term 6-month, 12-month review on it. So getting into the bull run, these are by far the simplest construction of all three boots that I'm looking at through this series. This is what DANNER are calling an unlined boot. The others have Gore-Tex linings and relatively technical. These are very simple sort of heritage boots, very similar to Thorogoods or Red Wing in design. They are somewhat lined. They have a sort of wicking material through the vamp and running round to the heel on the back there, but no Gore-Tex and a fairly simple construction. So with DANNER, all their boots are a stitched down construction. So the upper forms the welt. This is a sort of old school construction, very common in sort of hiking boots, English and European hiking boots, and it makes for a flexible and water resistant construction. The one thing that I will mention on all these videos is the way DANNER approaches recrafting these boots. All three boots are recraftable. That's quite important when you're making this sort of investment. Several £100 or up to £360 on the mountain lights. They do say that this welt needs to be looked after. So with a Red Wing boot, you can actually put the welt back on. So the little bit which runs around, which stitches into the midsole, that can be replaced. On this, as it's part of the upper, it cannot be replaced. So you've got to look after your construction. You've got to keep this oiled. If it cracks or if it's worn away so it can't be restitched, that's going to cause you problems. But in general, a nice construction and something which is tried and tested, common in hiking boots and outdoors footwear. The leather is a rather nice sort of pull-up oily leather, again very similar to what you'd be finding in a Red Wing boot. Good simple construction. On the forefoot here you've got one piece of leather, which is always a good start, because seams and panels will also make breaking a little bit challenging. These are a D width. They are the narrowest of all three boots, but I would say, having tried them on briefly, they fit true to size. I think breaking will be relatively easy due to the sort of simple construction, although one thing I would note is that the end of the lace to toe sort of structure here does fall at a fairly natural sort of fold point, which might make breaking a little bit challenging as you get that crease in there and as you find that sort of place for your toes to bend. Lacing these up the first time, the lace sections really need to be bent into place. You know, this is really quite a tough leather, but having experienced this type of leather many times on Red Wing boots, and it does seem similar, it will get comfortable pretty quick, and then you'll have a boot for life really. Moving down to the sole, another obvious comparison with Red Wing is this Christie sole. Now my first impressions are that this is a slightly different compound to what you'd find in a Red Wing boot. This feels more like a sort of a blown urethane. It feels very, very spongy, very, very soft, and I was concerned a little bit about the prospect of longevity on this. So on DANNER's web pages, they do say this isn't a boot which is suited to regular use on asphalt, so on hard surfaces. And yeah, absolutely, if you're going to wear this around town, if you're going to put the miles in on this sole will have a relatively short life. Now I did wonder whether this sole would be softer and have a shorter life to what you might find on a Red Wing. So I got out the old durometer tester. So this is a Shaw Type A test, and I tested the Red Wing 1907s. Now they are pretty worn, and it is quite hard to get a good reading if the sole is not perfectly flat, but actually the reading came in at 57 on these, around about, and 54, 55 on the Red Wings. So maybe longevity isn't going to be a massive issue. Similar life to what you might expect on a Red Wing boot. Now, the benefit of having this type of sole is this is a sole which was designed for field workers, farmers, and it allows comfort because your whole foot's supported, and also this gentle or rather sort of low profile tread gives you just enough grip across the whole boot, but doesn't allow you to track, or doesn't force you to track mud back into your property, into your vehicle. It is good for that application. Obviously on wet ground, forest, grass, that sort of stuff, you're not going to wear this down quickly either. So this is generally a boot which is focused on the outdoors. So we'll come in for a few close-ups. Before we do, I'll just mention on the inside here, you've got an insole, which is a nice addition. It is a simple ortholite one sort of density foam insole, but always nice to get. And the boot is perfectly sized to accommodate this without pinching your toes. Okay, well, let's come in and have a look at the details. Coming in for a few close-ups, you can see, starting off with the sole, you've got the soft, cristy polyurethane sole with the traditional sort of traction tread pattern there. You can see the sort of harder sort of cream midsole, and then the stitch down welt. As you can see, that's all one piece. As I say, the warranty requires this to be kept in good condition, so you want to be keeping this oiled, brush out the debris, and just sort of basically protect it. Certainly if you spend time on your toes, make sure you're not wearing that edge back, because you need the space to stitch in there. But equally, stitch down construction, tried and tested, and popular over the years in a hiking boot silhouette. Onto the upper, you've got this wonderful sort of heritage pull-up leather, so it's nice and oily, and as you sort of put pressure on it, you can see the oils moving around. Very easy to care for, a little bit of brushing to keep the oils distributed, easily sort of conditioned. On the heel counter here, nice one-piece construction. That's quite unusual design really there. Double stitched, DANNER branding on the back, and then the sort of forefoot area here, another one-piece construction, which, as I say, will make for an easier break-in because you don't have nice, well, massive seams or anything like that. But these panels here are pretty tough. And I'll show you that in a second on the other boot. 5 holes, and then a couple of nicely machined rather than sort of bent speed hooks, and sort of finished off with a bit of piping around the top, and made in USA, handmade in USA sort of flag there. Bit of DANNER branding on the tongue. Just moving on to the unlaced model, you can see as they come sort of from the factory, these need to be sort of squashed down. It's pretty rugged and robust, and will need a bit of breaking in. You can see a lot of material there, and as I say, this is just where your foot's going to want to find that fold. Sort of half bellows construction, so not going up quite as far as the Mountain Light, but still offering a good bit of waterproofness. Also make sure you're brushing this out regularly, because this is a location where you'll get a bit of wear going on. Inside the boot, you can see some of that lining just running around the forefoot, around to the heel there, and you can see the little ortholite insole, which is a nice addition. Well, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you found that useful. So as I said at the beginning, this is part of a series. I hadn't featured DANNER on my channel before, and I did want to try out a few of the boots which sort of speak to me in terms of the famous DANNER silhouettes. So you've got the bull runs, which is the simplest construction, and then on to some more technical outdoors boots, the Mountain Light, which is a traditional hiker with a wonderful bellows tongue, and the Light, which is a sort of almost a tactical boot. It looks like a service boot to me with these ballistic Cordura, I think it is, or certainly fabric panels. Again, both pretty technical, Gore-Tex lined. So I'll be doing some features on these. I might also do some direct comparisons between these guys and Red Wing, very similar construction. Might compare this to the Freycap hiker, which I've used for many years now. Again, similar design, similar construction. So we'll do a few follow-up videos on these. I will be putting one pair into long-term review. Unfortunately, I don't have enough feet to do long-term reviews on all three. Whichever boot you like, go to that video and give it a like, and I'll pick the one which is the most popular, the one that you want to see most. Okay, well that's about it. If you haven't seen my channel before, please check it out. Lots of boots, denim, everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, that sort of stuff. Cycling, running, bit of guitar. If you haven't seen my channel before, please check it out. It might share some other common interests. If you find this video useful, like it. If you want to see these boots reviewed long term, like it. Love if you subscribed, and I'll see you for the next video. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.